Here we go. It is Jacob Warren. I'm Dave Hooker. The Vol Report brought to you by Vassy Lawn and Garden. Man alive, it's worth the drive. And we've got plenty to get to, including yet another addition to Tennessee's football department. Also, we're going to talk about some of the guys that Jacob followed growing up. So a ton to get to. Want to start off with rules changes first. How are you, Jacob Warren?
Doing fantastic. Doing very well.
Yeah, and I'm working on that because Jacob told me last time that everybody calls him Jay or Jake. So, but I've gotten to know you as Jacob, so I might still slip up.
That's okay. Call me whatever, man.
just as long as you don't call me late for dinner. All right, let's get to some rule changes. You guys, if I'm in your position, I don't want any rule changes because offensively, you guys were the best in the nation. So I want everything status quo. But there is talk by the NCAA that they will let the clock run after first downs, except during the last 2 minutes of each half. What are your thoughts initially on that? Would that have a big impact or no?
Obviously, I think a lot of rule changes are things you kind of just have to adjust to and get used to and everything like that. I think that the way we play offense, um, it would affect us, but I feel like it would affect us the least out of anybody, right? Because I don't know, it goes both ways. Like, right, like clock management is very important to us and is really like kind of the goal of our offense. But it's also we go so fast that the clock can continue running, and how much time are you really wasting? Um, I don't know. That scenario comes up right where it's first down, and you would stop the clock. They would stop that clock, and we would have 2 or 3 seconds, 4 seconds, whatever, for them to spot that ball, and then us get on the line. That clock's running. Like, does it really matter if we snap the ball with, you know, 16 on the clock versus 18, 19? Like, yeah, I guess in a way, sometimes if you're looking at logistics and stuff, but um, I don't see us running out of time to snap the ball. I guess is all I'm saying. Like the
Right,
fact that the clock's running,
exact opposite. Yeah.
yeah, right. Like the fact that the clock's running is that's how we play ball all the time, right? We assume the clock is always running, so that's the urgency and everything that we already play with.
Well, the other one that's been talked about too is possibly letting the clock run after incomplete passes. So again, I'm assuming this would be just during the game and not in the final 2 minutes because you wouldn't want to take away that drama.
Right.
But if they did both of those together, it could take away somewhere along the lines of 25 plays a game
Yeah.
total. So your offense wears people out on the go during drives, but how much do you think it wears on people throughout the game?
Yeah. That's a big part of it too, man. It is the fact that we can run. Man, we could have a 6 play drive and only take a minute off the clock, but like you can't do that very long. You might be able to do it once and then you're tired, but every single time that defense goes off the field, they're just getting a little more tired, a little more tired, a little more tired. So by the time we get to the fourth quarter, we just rely on our conditioning and our stamina and stuff to be able to push through. And yeah, that would obviously take away a little bit of our advantage, but um, at the same time, I think that again, we'll just have to adjust and get used to it if that is the case, and continue to use tempo to our advantage. And I think that you know things that a lot of people I guess don't know, whatever, is just the way we substitute and the way that we go about different things like that. It depends on clock stoppages, and that's a lot of teams, right? The clock stops, you have time, like on incomplete passes, right, is what you mentioned. So incomplete pass, you have time to kind of settle and just relax, and not relax, but you know what I mean, kind of just catch a break, catch a breather, get the call, whatever, maybe substitute if you need to. So taking that away would kind of be, would throw a wrench in things, but obviously that's just something, like I said, we'd have to adjust to and change the operation of our offense a little bit.
You could possibly play 16 games. I want to get to that. The Vol Report brought to you by Vassy Lawn and Garden. Vassy Lawn and Garden, whether you're in Knoxville, Nashville, or Chattanooga, it really doesn't matter because Man Alive is worth the drive for your industrial mowers, commercial mowers, or residential mowers. Vassy Lawn and Garden has it all right there in Cleveland, centrally located to mid and east Tennessee. Man Alive, it is worth the drive. Go to vassy.com to learn more. So with the playoff expansion, the reason they're doing all this is Well, frankly, I think it's to fit into a TV window, but they say it's to limit your exposure to potential injury. At least that's what they say.
Right.
So there's potential for after you're gone and the college football playoff
Mhm.
kicks in to play 17 games if you're in the championship game.
Right.
Dude, that's a lot of games.
A lot of games. That's that's a very considering, I mean, the NFL is the NFL, whatever, but that's a lot of games for a college season, at least, as we look at it right now. You think about playing, you know, 13 games, right? Just having that bowl game and you're trying to go into that bowl game and just stay as healthy as possible. And right now, at least like you said, the goal is for everybody to make the college football playoff. And that automatically just brings in, the fact that, yeah, you might end up having to push it to 15 games if that's really what your goal is, and that's really where you want to go. So you might shorten up each individual game, but the fact that you could end up playing, 15, 16, whatever, however many games is pretty crazy.
Well, I want to correct myself. It would be 16 if you played in the championship game. So with the SEC championship game, and then potentially a quarterfinal, semifinal, and then the finals. So it would be 16 games. And
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Take me back to last late November, early December. How your body felt in comparison to before the season started.
Yeah, I mean, I think last year at least, I think I did a good job of just taking care of my body. Being intentional about getting recovery and doing all those things. But I mean, there's just a level of just wear and tear that you go through. Nothing may be injured, right? But just things just ache and hurt, and the muscles don't necessarily feel as strong as they did at the beginning of the season. And you're about 5-6 pounds lighter than you were whenever you started the season. And these are just things that naturally happen whenever you put your body through a whole season of play. And things that you have to consider when you talk about playing 15, 16 games. So yeah, that'll just be the new norm, I guess, if that's where we really want to go. And this team, if that's the goal every year, that you got to start preparing for it and being ready for it, and go ahead and expecting the fact that we're going to be playing more than just our allotted 12 games of the year.
I also think you probably have a slightly shorter window. You have almost a month between the last game and the
Yeah.
bowl game. So how helpful is that 3.5, 4 weeks that could potentially be shortened?
Yeah. And I mean, that time is a time of you trying to rest, you're trying to recover while also, getting ready for, you might not know who you play yet, but just trying to get ready for a game, right? And continuing to focus on getting better, right? This is a time for a lot of developmental periods for, the younger players, or the guys that aren't playing as much during the season, and a time for the guys that have played a lot, that have already played 12 games, to kind of just get some rest, and maybe take less reps at practice, but just be really locked in on, the details, and going back to, just the fundamentals of ball. And so, yeah, having that shortened would be, would stink. But obviously, also, it's like, well, we're playing for what are we playing for? You know what I'm saying? I don't really
Right.
care about another week of rest. Like, we're playing for SEC championship. We're playing to go to the college football playoff. So, yeah, at the same time, it's give and take, and I'd probably take that one for sure.
Do you ever think about, well, I guess you had to when you were considering whether or not to come back to Tennessee, but do you
Yeah.
ever think about a guaranteed grueling 17 game schedule in the NFL? Was that at all part of your decision making process? Because dude, that sounds like a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of games, but at the same time, it's like that's your job, right? That's literally all you're doing, and that's the only thing that you got going on for that whole amount of time, and then you get whatever the off season to rest and recover and do your thing. But yeah, no, obviously you think about that and you realize, like, wow, they're still playing, right? Like, the Super Bowl was just a couple weeks ago. Like, that's pretty crazy that we've been done for this long and they're still going. But yeah, part of it. They're getting paid a lot of money to do it, so can't
That's
complain.
true. That's true. You let me know that I think the minimum salary is 750 G's. So that's pretty
Something
good.
like that. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember the exact number, but it's around there. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's not bad work if you can get it.
Right.
As far as we were having this discussion recently, going back to guys even before you were born. That's how old I am. But guys that are kind of undervalued historically,
Yeah.
and I want to go back to last season. We've talked about several players, offensive linemen that don't get talked about across the board. We've talked about all kinds of players, but maybe even in a backup role. Was there a player last year that didn't maybe get the pub that had a big impact that you think led to your success last year?
Um, Man, just a lot of the guys up front. Obviously, that's kind of how you. The first thing I think about when I think about people that are underappreciated, at least in offenses, is just the offensive linemen in general. Just the fact that they were able to kind of handle some of the best in the nation, right? When you think about it, pass rushing and run defense and things like that, and everything really starts up front, starts in the trenches, and I guess the tight ends are kind of lumped into that as well. But yeah, man, from just Coop to Jerome, Sprags, Darnell, the guy, the two guys rotating that tackle with JJ and with Mincy, and man, they just do a lot of work and they do all the dirty stuff that nobody else want to do. So obviously, it's good to kind of appreciate them, and they don't get as much love as I think they should, but you know, whatever. It's just how the game is.
Yeah, it might be your dad or your uncle, but was there a particular player growing up that you rooted for? Obviously, they wouldn't have been playing when you were a
Right.
kid, but
I mean, I don't know. I remember kind of just being aware of the teams. Like you had like Pig Howard, right, who was a running back at Tennessee back in the day. That for some reason it could have just been his name. I thought his name was cool, but when I was a little kid, I was like, yeah, that guy's cool, right? And then like obviously you watch Josh Dobbs and stuff like that, and I was a little bit older whenever they were playing, but yeah, I mean that generation of players was really cool. Justin Hunter, all these guys that you know whether they went on to have good careers or not, just guys that kind of stick out to me as the players on this team whenever I was kind of growing up a little bit.
what are your thoughts on Joshua Dobbs? Because making it as long as he has in the NFL ain't
Yeah,
easy, and he
yeah,
might not be a household name, but here he's just kept plugging away. I got a lot of respect for him.
for sure. I think he's just one of those guys that just lasts and sticks around just because of obviously his physical ability and his athletic ability, but also just his mind. And I mean, the guy's an aerospace engineer, right? And super smart and just super committed and dedicated to the game. And was watching a podcast of him the other day about just kind of um, his moves, right? The past few weeks or the past few months, and how he went from, obviously he's been in Pittsburgh, he's been in Cleveland, he went to Detroit for like 2 days or something like that. That ended up in Nashville, and just the fact that you know he moved to Nashville apparently, and then was like playing the next week, like that same week or something like that, was ended up starting the game and performed pretty well. And all things considered, I think they lost the game, but um, just his ability to do that is pretty crazy, and not many people I don't think could do that, could handle that. Um, I'm sure a lot of NFL quarterbacks can, but just thinking about that as just a whatever, just a regular person and someone in my position, it's like wow, that's pretty crazy. He's able to do that, but yeah, man, his mind game has taken him a long way, and we have, I mean, a decent relationship. Like we're not super close, but have done some work and done some podcasts and some different talk shows and stuff with him, and obviously I've seen him around, and really appreciate him just being the guy and the leader and stuff that he is. So much respect for him as well,
You're a smart guy. Smart people know smart people.
for
Where
sure.
does he rank among the smartest football players that you've met?
I mean, I wish I could sit down and just like talk ball with him, but anytime that, like I said, I've been on a show, I've been on a podcast or anything with him, like afterwards we'll sit there on the show, on the Zoom or on the program or whatever afterwards, and he'll ask questions about just the offense, or I'll ask him questions about some stuff in the NFL and everything, and just man, he talks to you like he's an NFL quarterback, like he's a pro, and it's really cool to see just because I can appreciate the verbiage and the language and just how that conversation is completely a different language to a lot of people, but um, being able to kind of have that connection with him is cool.
Has he ever started talking rocket science with you? Because I'm
No,
out
if
at
you
that
did, I
point.
would tell him to stop. Yeah, if you did, I'd be like, yeah, you can't do that, bro. You're gonna confuse me. You're not that smart.
Well, now you're in kinesiology. That's not real easy. I mean, there's a lot of tendons and muscles and stuff. So what's more difficult?
Man, I'm gonna take kines on that one. But my thing is cool. Like I really like kinesiology and like anatomy and physiology because I can actually see, right. I can see my biceps on my arms. I know where my anterior tibialis is because I can point to it on my leg. Like that's what's really cool about to me about like all the sciences and all the human sciences that I took was made it easy for me because I can study all the different muscles and ligaments and tendons and stuff in my body because I have all of them, right? So it was really cool. I got a human study guide right in front of me. So
I got a feeling I'm going to be calling J War. Yes, I use the
There we go.
nickname J War for some medical advice before too long.
Yeah,
Maybe within the next couple of months.
hopefully.
Um, you've got a new analyst on board, Micah James. What do you know about Micah?
I mean, man, don't know much. He kind of just showed up and kind of hopped right in, and I appreciate that about him. How he was able to just come in and just kind of click with everybody, and just be there for whatever he needed to do, whether it was hold a card in walkthroughs or me just be encouragement or whatever. But with the allotted time that we have, it's been cool to kind of just be around him. Again, I haven't had any like super deep, real conversations with him or anything, but just the fact that he was able to step in and just really get the work and be involved as quick as possible has been cool. Seems like a really nice guy.
We talked about this a little bit when uh, Alex Golish moved on,
Yeah.
and of course, elevating Joey Halsley. But I'm just curious how much of the offense, when it gets put together on a weekly basis, is a cumulative effort. Because people on the
Yeah.
outside, I think they just look at Josh Heupel and say, "There's your guy."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, it's 100% a cumulative effort, and I believe that all of them would tell you that. I believe Halsey would tell you that. I think Coach Hype would tell you that. Even when Golish was here, I believe he would have told you that. Um, yeah, it takes all of them, man, and they all have their own inputs, and they all have ideas and thoughts, and obviously it all runs through the head guys. It runs through Halsey. It runs through Coach Hype, and um, but I think that they're fully aware that it's a collaborative effort, and they embrace that, right? They enjoy the fact that everybody's bringing in their different opinions, and they can kind of bounce them off each other and figure out what the best plan is and what the best way to run, counter is, or the best way to run certain concepts is, and what formations we should be in. And I think it's been really cool to see that how it's not just one person just dictating how everything flows. It's really kind of a collaborative effort.
The Vol Report brought to you by Vassy Lawn and Garden Man Alive. It's worth the drive. Industrial mowers, commercial mowers, and residential mowers at Vassy Lawn and Garden. Go to Vassy.com. Do they ask you if you got any play designs? Have they done that yet?
Man, I don't think I'm quite on that level yet. I could tell them what I think, but whether they take it into consideration or not, I don't know. But I got some good ideas sometimes, so maybe they'll have to start hearing me.
I like it. All
Mhm.
right. Maybe it's lining up at fullback like Princeton did
I don't know.
last year.
We'll see.
I don't know. That sounds like a no.
Uh,
He's Jacob Warren. I'm Dave Hooker. The Vol Report brought to you by Vassy Lawn and Garden, a presentation of Off the Hook Sports.